Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel. This video you are seeing is going to be coming in series part 1 to the end, and this is Safari suit, and I'm going to be taking you on how to cut and sew this Safari suit which you are seeing on the screen. So if you are new to my channel, hit on that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to all. Also give me a like on this video. Without a waste of time, I would like us to proceed to work right now. The measurement you need for this Safari suit: the length 30 inches, the shoulder 18, the sleeve 10, the chest 42 inches, the tummy 14, the round sleeve 14 inches. So I will commence right now by first marking out 1 inch at the top side of the fabric. I mark out 1 inches. Then I will use my rule to connect this point to form a straight line at the top of the fabric first. Then I will measure the length, the full length of the Safari suit, which is 30.5 inches. I mark it and I will adjust my tape and also mark again. I will also mark again. Then I will use my measuring stick to align the line. I'm marking out 2 inches, which will be for the folding allowance. Then I will align it to draw out straight line on the full length. Then I will push it to the allowance, the 2 inches allowance for the folding. I will also mark out for the folding allowance. I will now measure out the full length and divide it by 2. The full length divided by 2 will give us 15.25. I will now add 1.5 downward. I will mark 15.25 and add 1.5 downward. Adding 1.5 downward will give us 16.75. 16.75. That is adding 1.5 inches. Then I will mark the point. I'm marking out the point now. That's 16.75. I'm marking it to get a straight line. So the next thing I'm going to do is the armhole depth for the front panel. The armhole depth for the front panel will be chest divided by 4, which will give us 11.5. Pardon me, it will give us 10.5. Because 42 divided by 4 will give us 10.5. I mark the 10.5 and I will take 1.5 upward. Take 1.5 upward, and also I will still connect with my measuring stick to also get a straight line. If you should check the horizontal line, count the horizontal line, you will find out that I have about 5 horizontal line, if I'm not mistaken, or 6 horizontal line, and we mark 2.5 from the bottom line, and the next one will be 2 inches and 1.5 inches. The reason for this is that from the bottom line is the vent area, and getting to the upper side is the shoulder area. If you check your shoulder, you find out that your shoulder is not as equal as the waist area. The shoulder is somehow broader than the vent area, the waist area. So that is why you can see that at the shoulder area there is a little curve there. Then I will measure the shoulder which is 18 inches. I measure at the shoulder which is 18 inches. First of all, what I did there was to mark out 3.5 inches, and I now measure out 18 divided by 2 will give us 9 inches. 9 inches. I add half inches, which will give us 9.5. Then I push it downward and also mark 9.5 inches from the beginning of depth, and to get a straight line after connecting with the measuring stick. I mark out the shoulder slope right now, which is 2.5, pardon me, 1.5 inches. I will connect the shoulder slope from the neck area, connect it from the neck area where I marked at 3.5 initially. Then I will measure from the beginning to know what it gives me after adding half inches at this point. Then I will remove 1.5 inches at the waist area, and also at the bottom area I will give the same measurement I measure at the armhole to the bottom area, which will make the back area to look like a figure 8. That's what will make it, when you wear the suit, it will lap on your body. It will give a nice shape to your body. So I just mark out that point. The next thing I'm going to do now is the vent area. I'm marking out the vent area, which is 9 inches. I add half inches, which will be for the seam allowance or the sewing allowance. So I'm right done with the back area. I will now start to mark the front panel. So I will measure a straight line at the front of the fabric. So I measure a straight line and mark a straight line at the front of the fabric. Then after marking the straight line, I will measure the neck area. I mark out the neck area. After marking the neck area, then I will measure the shoulder, the measurement of the shoulder for the back panel, and I will now transfer it to the front panel. I'm marking out the neck. So I measure the shoulder and transfer it, the shoulder of the back, and transfer it to the front panel. And the same thing is applicable to the front. We also mark a straight line connecting the point with my rule. Then I will measure out my shoulder slope, which is 1.5 inches. I will also connect the shoulder slope. So the next thing I will do now is to use my French curve to get the curve of the armhole, the curve of the armhole, and whatever curve you are applying, at the curve should not exceed the armhole depth line. You can see that line, the horizontal line. It should not exceed beyond it. It should not go down below that line. It should not go below that line. So now I'm going to check the chest. I'm making some calculation right now concerning the chest measurement. The chest is 42 inches. So if I should measure out the chest, what I have there is 9 inches. Then I will measure to know the 42 divided by 2 will give us 20.5. That's what 42 divided by 2 will give us, 20.5. So I'm marking out, I'm adding about 4 inches to 5 inches allowance to it, because the allowance required, the sewing allowance by the side, the darts that need to be on the safari suit, you will find out that there is a dart by the side of the suit, which you can see with, that is connected to the to the golden clip by the side of it. So I'm marking the curve of the side. I'm done with this. I will now cut it out. I will start from the bottom to cut. I just cut out the whole of the what I draw, separating the remaining fabric from the main fabric for the safari suit. I'm cutting the safari suit out after drawing. I'm done with the front panel. Cutting out the front panel. So I will be moving to the back panel. I'm done cutting the front panel. I'll give a mark of chalk to identify the wrong side of the fabric and the right side of the fabric. I'm cutting the back right now, the back panel. There is something you need to note while cutting this back panel. At the back side, the shoulder area, you find out that based on the curve line there, you don't cut along the chalk which you drew. You have to give allowance, about half inches allowance before cutting. As you can see I'm doing now, you have to give half inches allowance before cutting, which is the sewing allowance. I'm done with the back panel. I will also mark chalk to identify the wrong side and the right side of the fabric. So what I want to cut out right now will be the inner facing of the safari suit. The inner facing of the safari suit. I will cut the inner facing out. After then, I will now focus on the sleeve of the safari suit. All you need to do while cutting this inner facing is just take your front panel, place it on the remaining fabric and trace it out. Place it in such a way that it will enter not much, not the whole of the fabric. Front panel will enter the fabric. After cutting, you see the allowable fabric which is required to enter as the inner facing, because it will also have its lining on it. You can see the inner facing. I'm cutting out the English or the foreign edge of the inner facing. Just cut it out. I will also mark a chalk to identify the wrong side and the right side of the fabric. You can see the allowable fabric that is required to enter inside, because this safari suit we have a lining inside while sewing it. Then I'm focusing on the sleeve right now. Now on that area of the sleeve, when you divide the chest by 4, it will give us 10 point. The chest divided by 4 will give us 10.5, which is 42 divided by 4 will give us 10.5. What I did first is just to mark a line, a straight line by the side, and I will now measure out the 10.5 and also connect a straight line on it. Then I will measure out I will mark out, draw a straight line at the top of it. From there we measure out the length of the sleeve. The length of the sleeve is 10 inches, and I will then give allowance for the folding. I'm not going to be marking 10 inches. I will mark 11 inches because the upper side we have a shoulder pad on it. So if I mark it 10 inches, after sewing, the shoulder pad will draw the sleeve up, and it will be making the sleeve to be shorter than expected. So the allowance that is required for that is 1 inches. Then I will put another allowance which is called the folding allowance. So I'm dividing the tape into 2 after measuring that 10.5 to get the center of it. I will also mark a line from there to identify the center of the 10.5, because my curve for the sleeve, the cap, the suit cap, the sleeve cap will go through the center of the sleeve. I'm giving my curve the cap on the cap area. I just decided to use freehand curve on this. Actually, it will still give me what I need on it. So I'm cutting it right now, cutting it out. I'll be cutting on the curve area, which is the sleeve cap, following what I drew. I cut it downward. I'm done with the upper sleeve. I also mark chalk to identify the wrong side and the right side. I will be marking out the under sleeve. This is the under sleeve of the safari suit sleeve. The under sleeve. I'm cutting it out. Then I will mark. What I will do is just to fold the upper sleeve, and I will measure out the round sleeve. The round sleeve says 14 divided by 2 will give us 7 inches. Then while folding, I will measure out if I have 7 inches while folding, because I will equally add my allowance to it. I add my allowance, then I will mark. After adding allowance, I will mark and shift the outer sleeve backward, and also mark a line to connect it. I will give the curve for the under sleeve right from the sideward to one side to the other side. I'm giving the curve, then I will cut it out. So I'm done cutting out the sleeve, and this all about how to cut this safari suit. And please, if you are new to my channel, before we move into the sewing, or if you are new to my channel, hit on that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to all, and don't forget to give us a like on this video. Guys, join me, let us commence the sewing right now. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.